This is Bristol Bay, a 34 million acre region in southwest Alaska. It is a vast and remote wilderness, dotted with small villages. The region takes its name from this 250-mile-long body of water. This is the story of Bristol Bay Native Corporation. Bristol Bay is awe-inspiring for its natural beauty and its rich cultural history that for generations has linked its inhabitants with the land and the water. Bristol Bay is home to the largest sockeye fishery in the world. Millions of salmon return here each year on their way to the rivers and streams where they were born. Human history in Bristol Bay is closely tied to this natural resource.
My dad was a trapper for years and also a commercial fisherman. All of us were involved in commercial fishery for years, and most of us, I think, we've succeeded in developing our own commercial fishery. And it's based on, I think, the values that Mom and Dad gave to all of us, and that is to continue to work hard and be proud of what you've accomplished, and then at the same time be considerate and respect people that you work with. These are some of the things that I hope to continue to pass on to my children, and hopefully my children will pass it on to their children in years to come.
For thousands of years, the abundance of this food resource attracted Eskimos, Aleuts, and Indians, a melting pot of Alaska Native culture that thrives to this day. In the mid-1960s, with many economic and cultural changes on the horizon, the natives of Bristol Bay organized to preserve the lands that had sustained themselves and their families for generations. Native rights to lands in Bristol Bay and across Alaska were established when Congress passed the Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act of 1971. Bristol Bay Native Corporation is one of 12 regional native corporations created by the Act to manage lands and money from the settlement and to advance economic development for the 5,400 shareholders the company now represented. Jason Matrokin is a shareholder. He's also president and CEO of the corporation.
As an employee of Bristol Bay Native Corporation, I think it's important to know that the company is founded on a history of hardworking fishermen from Bristol Bay. And we hold ourselves to high ethical standards, and we're very proud of that fact.
Melody Carlson is one of the thousands of people who work for BBNC, or one of its many subsidiaries in Alaska and around the world. She's an expediter for Bristol Industries, which provides support services for the other subsidiaries that make up the Bristol Alliance of Companies.
I grew up in Chignik Bay, Alaska, which is southwest of Kodiak Island. I grew up in a fishing industry family. My dad king crab fished in the Bering Sea and started salmon fishing at a young age with him on the boats and moved down to Washington State, but we came back every summer and we would travel about 4 hours out at Chignik Bay, and we spent a lot of the summers out in Aniakchak Pass. And you know, when we had downtime from salmon fishing, we had the joy of actually going to shore and beach comb and walk on the beach and, you know, do a little sport fishing here and there and being able to see wildlife where, right in, you know, where they're supposed to be, just roaming wherever, and it's very beautiful.
Travis Handy is a site supervisor for Kikivik Asset Management, a subsidiary that specializes in non-destructive testing and inspection for Alaska's petroleum and construction industry. His job supports his family, but he also understands the bigger contribution he and his fellow employees are making.
The work that is performed by employees of subsidiaries directly benefits the shareholders of the region through scholarships, jobs, and it helps out the economy. Additionally, it's the catalyst that is going to help the future of the region and the shareholders.
As we work with our shareholders and realize that their culture and traditional lifestyle and everything is important, it's been a challenge to come up with strategies that has built a company to where it is today, while at the same time being very aware that our people are are very tied to their land and to their way of life. I guess that's why we have as our mission to continue to enrich this way of life that has been so part of the life of our people in Bristol Bay.
BBNC has grown from humble beginnings to a modern corporation with roughly $2 billion in annual revenues and thousands of employees around the world. BBNC is made up of over 40 different companies in its 5 major lines of business, including construction, government services, petroleum distribution, oil field services, and tourism.
Over the last 15 years or so, we've expanded tremendously, and that has shown in certainly the top line growth, gross revenue growth of the company. And I also think it's been beneficial for BBNC and its shareholders to really broaden its experience, understand that the scope of opportunities that may be out there, and certainly to bring and enhance our ability to pay predictable and growing dividends to our shareholders, provide additional employment opportunities, and to also grow the funds in which we pay educational scholarships.
Like all Western corporations, BBNC is in business to make a profit. But unlike typical companies, BBNC's profit is used strictly to benefit shareholders.
We truly do have a strong tie to our land, to our resources, to the shareholders and the families and the children of Bristol Bay. But we also understand that there are opportunities in the world that we can take advantage of on behalf of our shareholders and behalf of our employees and all of our stakeholders, really. It's nice to point out that BBNC does have a successful track record, a very strong sense of pride in the history, both culturally and the business history of the corporation.
The corporation has paid over $125 million in dividends to shareholders, as well as provided benefits such as scholarships, internships, and employment services. And BBNC provides advancement and scholarship opportunities for non-shareholder employees. For managers like Duncan Morrison, president of 2 BBNC construction subsidiaries based in Florida, the connection between the success of the company and the benefits to shareholders sets BBNC apart. Each year, he brings managers and employees to the region for a cultural immersion to visit with elders, experience the lifestyle, and fully grasp for whom they are working.
From my leadership position, I believe it's imperative that each and every employee understand the connection that they have to Bristol Bay Native Corporation. They need to be able to connect to that from an ownership perspective and be excited about it. And when we can do that, when we can clearly articulate why we're doing what we do, then we build a sense of excitement and commitment with our clients and our communities and our spouses and significant others, and that has a multiplier effect on the performance of the organization.
For BBNC Board Chairman Joe Chythlook, the way forward is very clear.
We have committed ourselves to make sure BBNC as a company is directed and given oversight to develop the 5 major goals we have set as a corporation. The 5 goals that we have defined are: continue to build a value of company's assets to increase the financial strength, pay predictable and increasing dividends, continue to promote improved employment and educational opportunities, make sure that BBNC is in position to have a major voice in development, environmentally safe economic plans, and to promote development in a region that is guided by a priority protection for fish and fish habitat. I think our company is very well set to move forward with the new management structure we have in place here, and all the right people that have been working for us for years and have given us some very good confidence in their ability to grow beyond what it is today.
For employees like Melody Carlson, being a BBNC shareholder gives her a special perspective.
It does, because when you're working, you kind of bring it from the heart and kind of branch out from that, and it kind of makes you feel proud that you're not only a shareholder, but you can actually work within your corporation and kind of give back and give to other people what you've learned from working here.
It's often described that we're walking in two worlds. We're living out the hopes and dreams of our ancestors from thousands of years ago, and we're also trying to balance the lifestyle and the Western business opportunities that come about within the corporation. And as an Alaska Native leader, I think it's important to know that I'm always mindful of the challenges that we face every day. I think it's important to note that we're continuing to carry out the mission and the vision of the corporation in a way that I think they would have really appreciated, and they still appreciate today.